Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Vivi's Vegan Venue. I'm so glad to have you here tonight. Tonight we have some awesome foods we're going to make. Macaroni and cheese. When you think of macaroni and cheese, what do you think of?
Comfort food.
Cheese, comfort food, exactly. Well, tonight what we are going to make is actually healthy and it tastes great. And something else we're going to do is peanut butter carob treats. And those two, oh my, they're so simple and quick. And you can make these for guests that are coming. And then as a bonus, we're going to do chia orange pudding. Have any of you heard of chia pudding before? Mm-hmm. Oh my, there's many variations. So tonight what we're going to do is the orange one. So as usual, we're going to put the Vitamix to work. And this recipe, if anybody wants it, I have copies over there. But this calls for a third of a cup of raw cashews. I don't know if you use those, but cashews are high in fat, but they're really nutritious and healthy. And then we have coconut milk. We're also, with the chia orange pudding, I have coconut Cool Whip. Well, in here we're going to be using the lower fat coconut milk. So that's going to be one of our main ingredients. And then a fourth of a cup of nutritional yeast, and we've talked about that. Does anybody remember what nutritional yeast is high in?
Is it B12?
B12, that's right, very good. And then salt. It's a little high in salt, but I always use the real salt, which is full of the micronutrients, and we do need to have some salt in our diet. It's not good not to have any. So this is 2.5 teaspoons for this recipe. And then onion powder. We have 1.5 teaspoons of onion powder. And I'm going to put these noodles in. And I have somebody from the audience, Miss Linda Coleman, is going to come and watch these noodles for me. They need to cook for about 10 minutes. And here's a spoon for you. We're going to let you watch those. And I don't know if you ever put oil in with your noodles, just a little bit, because what does it do? Makes them so they don't stick. That's right. So I always add a little bit of that. And sometimes I salt, but I'm not going to tonight because there's already so much salt in this dish. Okay, so while those are cooking, we'll finish making this. And I've got it on high. Okay, and the onion powder, we're going to do 1.5 teaspoons of that. Notice how I always measure very accurately with my items. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
It's like, oh, it's about right. I always say recipes are suggestions. They're suggestions. Okay, and then 2 cups of water. There's a timer there too, Linda, if you want to use it.
Yeah, just turn it down a little bit. It's getting a little bit too much.
Okay, and then 1/4 of a cup of pimentos. Awesome, because the pimentos are going to do what? Oh, I didn't pre-open this. So, here's another trick, by the way, if something doesn't want to open, upside down, do that several times, and it opens most of the time.
Do you need to drain that?
Nope, I'm going to dump that all in there. Okay. All right, was that very hard? That was our base. Oh, and cornstarch. Now, something I use is arrowroot powder. Have you heard of that before? Arrowroot powder?
No.
Arrowroot powder is a root. And so it actually has some medicinal purposes. It's healthy instead of cornstarch. Actually, cornstarch can, over the course of time, help line the intestinal tract to where you don't absorb as well. With arrowroot, that will never happen. And so I always, always, always use arrowroot whenever it comes to thickening things. Okay, so we have our cashews, coconut milk, nutritional yeast, salt, onion powder, the arrowroot, water, and canned pimentos. So what we're going to do is we are going to whiz this together. Okay, this recipe does not call for this, but I want that more yellow for me, and it doesn't hurt any. I add a little turmeric. Turmeric is another herb. It's an anti-cancer herb, so it won't hurt any. When I make tofu that look like scrambled eggs, I always use that also. So that'll give us just a little more color. Okay, so that is ready. And that's going to give us the color there. And Miss Linda's going to tell me when our noodles are done. And then we'll do that next step. While we're waiting on that, I want to just talk a little bit about these different noodles. The ones that we're making right now are, all these are gluten-free, and these are made with milled flaxseed. I have totally gotten away from all whole wheat, or even wheat. I totally stay away from anything that says enriched. So, and on this one, these are brown rice and flax. So wow, that is really healthy. And here's some other ones I wanted to let you know about. Red and white quinoa noodles. I don't know if you have seen those. And the ones that we're doing tonight that you're going to have are corn and quinoa. And then, yeah, this one's corn and quinoa. And I'm pretty sure this one too. This one is rice and corn and quinoa. So, and this one, also lentils. Have you had lentil noodles before? This one's made with lentil flour, lentils and rice. So just to let you know, there's a lot of different noodle types that are out there to try to get away from some of the wheat products that are just a little bit more healthy. So, how much longer on those do you think?
3 or 4 minutes.
Okay, while that is going, I just want to share this dessert that we're going to do tonight. I call them Carob treats. They're actually peanut butter Carob treats, and talk about so simple. This recipe has 3 ingredients, and oh my, are they tasty. In fact, we're going to ruin your appetite by sending some of these around.
My kind of kitchen dessert first.
Yes, yes. So pass those around and try those. But I just think they're so yummy. Have you ever wondered about when you get natural peanut butters and the oil is all on the top? You know, how do you do that? If you store it upside down, the oil will go into the nut. So then when you turn it around, it should have that oil all inside. So, what do you think of those? Aren't those awesome? Yeah. And so here, what we did, the oil is all inside the peanut butter.
Not
Oops,
all of it.
not all of it, but most of it. Okay, so for this one, it's 1 cup of peanut butter. Here again, we're just gonna not be super accurate. If I had to do that baking where you had to be very precise, I would be in big trouble. Big trouble. And then, I don't know if you remember, I told you before that if you have to put honey in a container, do what to it so it doesn't stick? Do you remember that little trick?
Use oil first.
That's right, use oil first. Well, we've used oil first, haven't we? And so we're going to do 1/4 cup of honey. Oh dear, it's an estimation once again. But because it's oiled, guess what? It's all gonna come out of there. Pretty easy. All came out. And then 3 tablespoons of Carob powder. How many of you have heard of Carob powder before?
Where do you buy yours at, Vivian?
Any of the health food stores typically have it. So we're going to do 3 tablespoons of that. And for some people don't like to use chocolate or cacao because it has caffeine in it.
So you're using a heaping tablespoon.
I do. Yeah. Yeah. As you see, I measure very accurately. Anytime you add a powder to these kinds of things, it makes it into more of a sticky paste. So we're going to mix this. And this is all there is to this recipe, except we're going to roll it in coconut. How easy is that? And that's what you're eating. It's over the top easy. If I know I want something quick for a treat, if I have people coming, this is a great recipe to do.
The ones you have on this platter, is that one recipe?
That's a double.
I know.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what we're gonna do, I'm just gonna add to this one just to show you how. So all you do is you take some and rub it, roll it in the coconut, and that's it. And then I stick it in the fridge.
This is ready, you never do.
Okay? You want to drain that in a colander in the sink.
How far in advance can you make these, do you think?
These, you freeze them.
Mm.
In fact, I think I some have in now. Okay. And then we're going to rinse. We're going to do phase 2 of this one. We're going to put it back in there, and then we're going to add that stock. Oh, it's so nice to have a wonderful assistant. Ah,
Sous chef.
good enough, good enough. Okay, so it's going to go back on the burner, and then we're going to add this, and Miss Linda is going to stir it. I'm going to get this going again so that warms up. And then just, she's going to stir that. Okay, so, see, while that's cooking, although it does need to be stirred the whole time because it sticks, so that needs to be done. Any questions on this one? Is this simple or what?
What is it? Did you roll it in?
Just coconut. This is unsweetened coconut. And whenever I do coconut, normally when you get coconut in the store, it's always really sweetened. So I always get the unsweetened, because it's just healthier. It doesn't have that added sugar to it. So, Okay? And then the last thing I'm gonna talk about tonight is the chia orange pudding. And I'm just gonna talk about it. I'm not going to actually demo that one. But with this, again, an easy recipe. All this is almond milk or a milk of your choice, and 1 1/4 cups almond milk, 3 dates to sweeten, the zest of an orange, a 1/2 cup of orange juice, and I literally squeezed it so it's fresh orange juice, and then 1/3 cup of chia seeds is in there. And you put that all together and leave it sit overnight, I do, and then you can have this as a breakfast, or you could have it as a dessert. What I like to do is, because I try and stay away from processed sugars, I will have this with some coconut Cool Whip, and we've done that in one of our previous shows. Does anybody remember how to make this? If you use, I always do 2 cans of high-fat coconut milk, put it in the fridge, let it separate for at least 24 hours, drain off the liquid, put it in the Vitamix, blend it. For every can, do 2 tablespoons of maple syrup and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And this is what you'll get. That looks just like Cool Whip, and it's delicious. So you can taste that. And that is coming along. It's thickening up. So that is it for tonight. We're going to sign off, and we're going to try some of these foods. So you're going to have mac and cheese, chia pudding, and these little peanut butter carob treats tonight. Thank you so much for coming, and we will see you next time. Have a good evening. Bye.